What's up, guys? Matt here, coming at you with another quick video. This one, we got some TRX4M upgrades from Injora. They sent over a bunch of stuff to upgrade my Bronco. So you can see I've got two builds here. This one started out as a Bronco also. It's pretty heavily modified, running the brushless system. We've already got the Injora servo on here because for the money, these things are hard to beat. You can see I've got one on the Slayer and also picked one up for the Bronco because I love them. They work very good. They're stout, and for the money with the aluminum servo horn and everything, they're pretty hard to beat. I've had good luck with them, so that's what I'm going with in here. Now, this thing is still mostly stock besides the Furitek carbon fiber chassis. It's running stock motor, stock servo, stock links, everything besides wheels and tires and the body. And it does have the low range slow crawl gears in there, which we're going to be switching out to these metal gears. So it'll be nice to see how these run. These are also the slow crawl gears. So we'll get those installed. I'm going to get some brass high clearance links on it, just keeping the weight down low, adding a little bit of clearance, hopefully. Metal drive shafts. That's nice because these don't have the nasty O-ring that goes here that everybody tears off. You can see these don't have that, so very excited to get those on there. We're gonna slap in this 48 turn motor. So this stock one is an 87 turn. Very curious to see how our wheel speed's gonna be with this and if we can still get a decent slow crawl out of this stock ESC. If not, we'll ditch it. We'll go with something better and we will get what we want out of this. So we've got some overdrive gears here. I'm going to put overdrive in this and this just to get some overdrive going on in these. Don't have any in them yet, so I have two of those. We've got the aluminum servo horn and mount extra here for the servo. And these shocks, very excited to check out these 59 millimeter oil filled shocks. These are nice long oil filled shocks that should fit this really well. The Injora set that I have here have been very good. These just got a little more length to them, and so I'm excited to see how these perform on the Bronco. I don't know, maybe we will switch these out, put these on here, get a little more travel out of this one. I mean, it's got good flex already. This thing drives really well, and I think getting the overdrive in here is going to kind of put it up over the edge, but we will see. Maybe we'll take these out, run them both, get a little bit of footage, and then start doing some upgrades. Here you'll see the difference between the links. The stock link doesn't even really register a gram of weight on my scale. And then the brass high clearance link, you're getting 6 to 7 grams per link. So we're adding quite a bit of weight down low. This running here is before the mods. I just wanted you guys to kind of see how this thing performed beforehand. It's kind of hard to show the difference, you know, between just a set of regular links and high clearance links, but we all know that we gain a couple millimeters of clearance, which can make a difference in a spot just like this right here. And just adding the weight down low is going to help this truck overall. But I wanted you guys to kind of see how this thing performed beforehand, and then I'll show a little bit of running after the mods, and that way you can kind of compare a bit. So I just tossed a couple clips in here of me driving this before the mods, and overall this thing drives pretty dang good, but it did feel like it needed a little weight down low, and it's always needed more wheel speed since I went to these crawler gears. The slow crawl, it really helped that, but the wheel speed is lacking for what I like to do most of the time. So I'm just going to go ahead and spool it. After installing the motor, it was much better, and you'll see that. But overall, I mean, this thing drives pretty good. You know, the stock servo kind of stinks, and a lot of people have had those die. Luckily, mine hasn't died, but it's just underpowered, weak. So definitely switching that out. Getting the high clearance links on here going to make a lot of difference. And you know, it's kind of hard to show what really, like, you know, just a set of high clearance links do sometimes, but we all know you're gaining that clearance, and these being brass, you've seen the weight difference, huge difference in the weight. So we're gaining that weight down low with this hard body. Obviously that's needed a lot of times. May even let me be able to kind of change my wheels up a little bit on this. You know, I've been running these same wheels pretty much since I got it, just because they're really heavy and I needed that weight. So it'd be nice to have options of maybe switching out my wheels a little bit and still having enough weight down there to run some pretty good lines. But overall, it drives pretty good now, much better after the mods. And I think you can definitely see the difference in the wheel speed, especially this little spot coming up right here in a second. I do make it through this, but just trying to bump over this, it just doesn't have the wheel speed at all to really launch. But after the fact of swapping in the Injora motor, it definitely did have the wheel speed to do it. You'll see here when I go to bump over this peak that with the stock motor and these crawler gears in here, it just doesn't really have the wheel speed to do anything. And right there with the Injora motor, it was able to hop over it. So definitely going to enjoy that little bit of extra wheel speed. Then here it is back with the stock motor, just not able to get that bounce. You know, I'm able to get over this in the end, but you've seen how quickly I just kind of snapped over it with the Injora motor in here versus running the stock motor. So that little bit of difference, you can see I just kind of picked the right line there and it just drove over it, but it wasn't capable of getting the wheel speed and hopping over it. This is where the running after the mods begins, and this motor impressed me really. I didn't think I would get the slow crawl that I got. I figured I would pick up the wheel speed, but kind of go back to where I was with the stock gearing, you know, and not have a good slow crawl. But I actually really like how it crawls, and I think you can see it's pretty dang good for a brush motor on the stock ESC. I mean, you get that ESC whine, but it crawled really good. And the biggest difference for me, honestly, is the servo. You'll see here I got a little pressure on that right front, able to just tweak the servo and get this thing to level out. That's where sometimes a stock servo, you're not really able to do that. It probably would have did that line, but in situations where you have more pressure on those front tires, sometimes they just won't hardly do it. And this Injora servo, I've never had it struggle to move my truck when I needed it to. So definitely glad to have that in here. And the brass links down low gave this thing just a little more weight down low that I think it needed. So overall, I'm very happy with these mods, and I'm going to get started using those shocks and a couple other things on the other 4M build. So a little more Traxxas stuff coming, I guess. But overall, I think these are some solid mods from Injora, and definitely worth checking out if you need a little weight, need some high clearance. I mean, the clearance makes a big difference, and those drive shafts are going to make a huge difference because we know the stock ones kind of suck. So You guys let me know what you think. I'll let you finish off with a little bit of running here, and I appreciate everybody watching. Peace.